Hey guys, this is Neil with Catalyst Machine Works, and this is the assembly video for the new BangGod LITE. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past. I'm not going to take all the individual components from the machine and sort of assemble them all together with the included hardware set. The reason for that is this thing is so similar to the original BangGod that what I'm going to do is suggest that you go to the original BangGod product page and look down at the very bottom of the page, and you will see the assembly instructions there. You can use that as a reference to assemble this guy if you've never assembled one, and it really goes together in basically the exact same way. Where the differences lie is some of the details for the bulkhead here, and some of the 3D parts that this comes with are a bit different than the 3D parts that the original come with. So I'm going to go through all those differences, and then the fasteners that come with this, where they go and how those go in, all those details are a little bit different. So I'll go through this assembled unit that we have here and explain where everything goes. So first, let's start with the 3D components that this dude comes with. Alright, first difference is this bulkhead here. So this is the bulkhead that joins the cage to the main body. Difference between the original and this one is that the original has some little screw holes here that accept a Phillips head self-tapping screw. Well, we've changed that over because a lot of customers said, man, why do you have a Phillips head screw? We got Allen wrench screws. I got to change out my my driver when I'm taking the top off, and I got hate mail, and I got threats of violence against my family. I'm just kidding. No, but in all honesty, people didn't like that. Okay, so I changed the design, and now what we're using is Allen head screws. We're actually using aluminum screws here. But to make that work, you have to take these two barbed brass inserts and you have to insert them into these bores here. Alright, now it's going to be a tight fit and they're going to be difficult to get in. That's on purpose, because to get these things to hold in here, to make all you guys happy, this is going to be difficult to get in. So, you know, it's a give and take, right? It's a give and take relationship. Designer, customer, goes both ways, like that. Okay, I give, you give. So take and press these guys in, and then everything will be happy-go-lucky. Now, whenever you go to screw this in, what's going to happen is it's going to take and pull this all the way until it butts up against the carbon fiber. So what you want to do is basically torque it down until it stops. You don't keep going, because what you're going to end up doing is just, this is in a soft material, so it's just going to start spinning and spinning and spinning. So it just needs to be snug. Guys, now the next difference between the LITE and the original BangGod has to do with antenna mounting. Alright, on the original BangGod, it didn't come with any antennas or any antenna mounts. So what you had to do is buy that separate. Well, we've changed that, and now it comes with every option of HD, sort of DJI HD scenario that you could have. And so what I've got mounted on here, on this particular bird, is the Vista. Well, it's the Nebula Pro, but it's the Vista VTX, which then mounts to this singular antenna that we're all familiar with if you're into the Caddx products. And so it comes with this mount. Alright, so use this mount if you got this scenario. Now, if you have a DJI air unit, let's see if I have a bird with an air unit here. I don't, but you know what that looks like. So it also comes with these. And so you can mount a full-size air unit in here if you need. Okay, if you're going analog, if you live in the 1800s and you run analog, then it doesn't come with that mount. You're going to have to buy that on the site, or you could make something or design something or do some tomfoolery to make it work. Okay, on this bird, you can see I've got this crossfire antenna mount and crossfire mounted. It doesn't come with that. It just happens to be on this bird. Okay, so that's how all that works. Now, the next big change is the separation in the cage plates here is different. So on the original BangGod, it's 28 millimeter plate separation. This changed to 20 millimeter. So what you have to do if you want to mount a GoPro in here is use this included bar. So this is a little angle bar here that mounts in here between the two plates that facilitates mounting any of our existing BangGod GoPro mounts. Will work with this. Right now, what you want to do is take the included little 20 millimeter long aluminum sleeve and press it into this bore like so. All right, Shazam! Now it's pressed in the bore like magic. Okay, and then you can put this guy in here, and if you have an existing mount from your old BangGod, it's going to work, and you can then mount it in. Or if you have a if you get on the site and you look through there and you find the BangGod mount that you want, well, it's going to fit this. Okay, now this is only a maximum of 35 degrees, I believe. So if you want to go higher than that, there is an optional mount for the LITE that you'll find in the accessories page. The thing I forgot to mention about this little part is the hardware, the very long screw and the nut washers and whatnot that you need to screw this thing in don't come with the frame kit. So that comes with the GoPro mount. When you buy the GoPro mount, it comes with that. Okay, I'm going to pull out the bill of material and set it here, and we're going to go through the screws and I'm going to tell you where they all go. But before I do that, I do want to mention, this is really super important, this is the LITE version of the BangGod. Okay, so what I did to make that happen is I used geometry that's altered. I used thicknesses that are thinner. I used different fasteners, different length of fasteners, different material of fasteners, all in an effort to move farther away from crazy tank tough, run it into a freaking steel beam, towards still pretty tough but really light. Okay, there's a compromise with design. It's not magic. With engineers, we're not, with these FPV frames, it's not like there's some FPV magic out there and you do your hands in a dance and it happens. It's a compromise. So is this thing going to be as tough as the original BangGod? Well, of course not. Is it still going to be pretty damn tough? Yeah. Compared to most of the stuff out there, this is probably going to be better. But you do need to take into account the spec that you decide on. So it's really not a good idea to go and buy this frame and then get the craziest, biggest, heaviest motors you can, put a full-size air unit in here, and the largest, heaviest stack you can possibly find, and then expect that this thing is going to be able to run into a steel beam. It doesn't work that way. What you need to do really is think about buying lighter weight components. So you can see in this one I've got a micro stack. I've got the Nebula Pro, and I've got some motors that are, what are these, 2306? I think these are 2306.5 essentially, but they're really lightweight motors. And so when you build it lightweight, it's going to be able to take a crash because you've got less energy behind this thing, less momentum, less mass as it's running into something, it's going to be less likely to damage the frame and damage components. So really seriously consider changing up your methodology for, you know, building in your electronics and what you actually choose for this particular frame. All right, let's go through all of the fasteners, and I'm going to explain where everything goes. Here's the bill of material. You can go to the website and go down to the product page, and then go all the way down to the bottom, and you'll find it. Also called a parts list, and so you can print this out. You guys may or may not be able to see this right now on your screen, but I'm going to call out each individual piece of hardware and explain where it goes. Okay? So the first is the 20 millimeter knurled aluminum standoff. Goes right there. Right, then we've got a couple of the same type of standoff, but they're 22 millimeter long. Those go here in the back. All right. Then we have got, so we're going to mark these off. Then we've got 8 of the flanged black 17 millimeter long standoffs. Obviously those guys go right here. Okay, then we've got 8 of these little nylon standoffs here. This is a male-female nylon standoff. These are for your stack. You can use these if you'd like. I don't happen to have used them on this particular build. We opted against them, so of course if you have a unique stack like we happen to have used, you might have to find your own hardware. But most of the time what we've supplied here will work for most setups. Right, then we've got some black plastic nuts. Those are obviously going to be used for your stack to hold on the flight controller if you'd like. All right, then we've got 14 of these M3 by 6 millimeter black aluminum screws. Okay, so again, we're using aluminum now in a lot of places. We're on the original BangGod, it was all steel. Steel is round about 4 times heavier than aluminum. So to get this thing lighter, you know, again, it's not magic, it's changing things. And so I did use steel in parts where you absolutely have to have it, parts where there's a lot of stress that runs through the structure during crashes, but other places you've got aluminum. So those 6 millimeter long screws, you're going to use them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other 4 you can use for your stack. Right, so you can use them right here to run into this little nylon standoff to hold on your ESC, and then you use 4 more for your flight controller. All right, so those are the 6 millimeter long aluminum screws. Now we've got 12 of the 8 millimeter long aluminum screws. So same type, they're just a little bit longer. All right, we've got 12. Let's see if I can get this right. 1, 2, use 2 of them there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's where the 8 millimeter long versions go. Right, let's mark that off. Then we have a couple of 10 millimeter long aluminum screws, and right now I honestly am trying to figure out where those go, man. You know what? I think I made a mistake. I think that the 10 millimeter long aluminum screws actually go here, okay, into the little barbed inserts. Then you're going to use the 8 millimeter long screws here, and that's what it is. Okay, I made a mistake. Sorry about that. I'm an idiot. 10 millimeter and 8 millimeter here. All right, so let's mark that off. Then we've got a couple of M2 by 5 millimeter long socket head steel screws. You can use those to mount your camera on the camera cage right here. LITE. Now, also we've got some washers here, M2 washers. Okay, you're going to use those in the same spot if you'd like. Now, the next thing, you're going to have some number 4 by 1/2 sheet metal self-tapping screws. And then you also have number 4 by 3/8. There is 2 of the 1/2 inch long. There is 4 of the 3/8 inch long. Those self-tapping screws are used to go through the carbon into the bulkhead. Here on the sides, on either side, you're going to use the 3/8 inch long version. These 2 on the bottom are 1/2 inch long. Alright, next we've got M3 by 12 millimeter crazy strong blue steel screws. Those go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, points of highest stress, we stuck with the steel. We could have gone aluminum, but you guys will be mad at me after you crash. Okay, so then, alright, so now we also have a couple of number 2 washers that have a bigger diameter on their OD, and they happen to be right around 1/2 millimeter thick. So what those can be used for, if you'd like, is to place them between the camera and the camera side plates to space it, because this distance is 20 millimeter. Well, the Nebula Pro is 19 millimeters, so you got 1/2 millimeter on the other side. Now, you don't have to use them. What's going to happen if you don't use them is it's just going to pull these 2 plates together and sort of warp them a bit. Up to you. Okay, and we've got a rubber grommet that goes here for your pigtail, so you don't cut the silicone on the wires. And the rest of this stuff we have already gone through. Right, and obviously it comes with a couple battery straps. Okay guys, well I guess that's it. Let's put a big check mark. Ready? Complete. There you go. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email us at info@catalystmachineworks.com or support@catalystmachineworks.com, and we will get it answered as quickly as we can. Thanks guys.